are going?
Yes.
Podcast smiles, everyone.
You have a cameraman tonight. You're welcome.
Oh, Daniel, we love it when you're here.
That's right. We sure do.
Look who we got tonight, Denny.
Yeah.
Denny brought some sunshine all the way from Florida. We're
That's
going to
right.
talk about that tonight. I love Florida sunshine, Denny.
Yes.
Just send me a bill. Mikey, Joshua, we have 2 cameras running and sound is ready to go. Let's have some fun tonight. What are we doing? Show number 176?
Wow. Next thing you know, it'll be 200.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And we have Daniel running camera for the first time in weeks. Isn't that camera square to you? Does that look good?
I think it looks fine.
All right, rock and roll, guys. Here we go. Most fun hobby in the world with some of the best people. Show number 176. Please give us a countdown.
All right, you guys ready? And in 3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Jelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at jelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week, show number 176 for November 13th, 2021. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. And I do want to say that we've got some great people on the set with us. Starting over here, as always, we've got Mike Budde. Hey, Mike.
Hey, everybody.
Also, right next to me, I've got Sugar Fire Joshua Barton.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Joshua. And on the very end, we have Denny Jelsma, all the way from Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, Denny, thank you for bringing the sunshine with you like you always do when you come here. I'm going to show you some amazing fall colors in the backyard this week. We are peaking, and if you live in the Midwest, you know how gorgeous it is. This is the time of the year to visit, where the fall colors are just golden and yellow, and it's just absolutely brilliant for rail fan photography. And I know there's a lot of guys out there doing that this week, and I can't wait to see the results on that. Now, I do want to say that the December video, as I mentioned last week, is not complete yet. Unfortunately, I don't have that done, and the podcast that we shot last week just got out this morning at 5 a.m. in the morning. I've been a little preoccupied with things in my personal life, which I do want to explain, because there's been a lot of speculation in readers' comments and different things, and I would like to address that tonight. In that this has been a very emotional week for myself, in that Michelle has moved from this home into her new beautiful home that she's got. And what I'm trying to say is, Michelle and I have decided on an amicable split of our 31-year marriage. Just an absolutely wonderful time with her, and we will remain close friends moving into the future as we will raise our children to adulthood. I want you to know that we've got a lot of support from all of our friends on this. This is not a sad thing. This is a good thing for both of us, and I wanted to address it on the show. I will only do this one time. This storybook ending to our marriage started in July, and I was very careful to not allow any of my emotion to come through on the show, as this process is now coming to a close. But I do wish her all the happiness and great fortune moving forward as we both start new chapters in our lives. So with that, I want to launch over to Campbell Rice. You've got something special happening tonight on the show, don't you, Campbell?
Yes, I do. This is a special night for one of our guests, Denny Jelsma. Happy birthday.
Oh. Yay!
Oh. We have a beautiful, beautiful train cake.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
We are going to make this a quick show, and then we are all going to enjoy this wonderful chocolate cake.
Very nice.
Hey, wow.
Not on camera, though.
That's
Thank you,
right, not
thank
on
you, thank you.
camera.
Wow, what a surprise.
My wonderful daughter Anna asked me a few minutes ago about this cake upstairs in the kitchen, and she's like,
She's
"Daddy,
ready.
Daddy, can I have a piece of cake?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Not yet."
Oh, wow, that's
happy
what a
birthday,
surprise.
Denny.
Happy birthday.
Thank
You're
you, thank you very much.
Absolutely amazing. So Joshua, I think we're going to start with you because you've got a lot of interesting things to talk about tonight.
I do. So I'm going to rewind a little bit to the beginning of last year, and right before the pandemic, when we were so unsure of everything about everything at the time. I did take a little vacation, and Raina and I and a couple friends went down to New Orleans. And while we were down in New Orleans, one of the things I wanted to see was see Greg Javanello, who's been on the show. And here's a picture of us at Sugar Fire. He came to visit me right before the show. But he had been up here, and so I wanted to visit the Crescent City Model Railroad Club. And so I have some pictures here of it, and it was such an amazing older layout. I mean, it just goes on forever, it seemed like. Such long hallways and just nice, beautiful scenery that had been done. I'd say it was about 85 or 90% of the way fully scenic. There were a few spots that they were still working on in transition, but I got to hang out with all the guys, and it was really neat, and a whole lot of really, really cool scenery stuff that I had never seen. But is relevant to down there in New Orleans, which I have only been a few times. So I was really just astonished at all the great scenery
What's neat
work.
about that layout is they have their own motive power, their scheme, and they have special runs of really high-end freight cars and stuff.
Yeah, I bought a couple cars. I was looking for them before the show. Hopefully I can find them and send some pictures to Ken before the show comes out.
One of the
but-
new tangent cars.
Yeah.
There's 6 freelance roads, and Crescent Lines is one of them.
And I mean, it's a very popular model railroad and has been around for a long time. So I took all the pictures and just really enjoyed myself. And unfortunately, Hurricane Ida had a part to play in this railroad and has kind of devastated the railroad. 25% of the railroad is now gone.
Wow.
There's a lot of just general debris everywhere. We're showing these pictures now. So we just wanted to give them a shout out. And they have a GoFundMe page. And Ken's going to put it right down here right now, the GoFundMe site. So, you know, help our brethren out. You know, they're going through some hard times. So, and, you know, what makes them happy and gets them decompressed is now gone. So,
Right.
you know, I feel really, really a soft spot for that. So
That's the one wonderful thing about this hobby is that when unfortunate events happen like that, everybody in this hobby has got each other's back. That's something that I absolutely have recognized, and I want to thank everybody for supporting me also as well.
We definitely wish Greg and the entire crew down there a fast recovery from it, and we look forward to hearing about the great progress that hopefully you'll be getting soon.
Amen. Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
Denny, welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm just overwhelmed. People don't give me birthday presents.
Near among friends.
That's right.
And I want to extend a great gratitude to you for your support as well. You and I have had a lot of conversations over the last 16 weeks. Thank you.
And there's a ton of people out there that love you because their head is warm with your hats from the RPM meet.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that was fun, I love giving, and just like tonight, I look at Mike's shirt. Man, I'm so proud. And
Look at
your
this.
shirt.
Yeah.
So
How about that? Denny had a lot of new shirts made for me. In fact, I picked up 4 blue ones, including a long sleeve blue one. What happened was the last show that I did where we actually showed the various types of garments, the Port Authority, and all the quality brand products that he stocks, I actually sat back and watched that show. And darned if I didn't place a $600 order with it because it sold me. My own editing sold me. I want to show you the blue jackets that I picked up.
Yeah,
They're
these
beautiful.
are nice.
When I go out on the nights in the town now, I wear these jackets. And you talk about something that sparks great conversation with people. That YouTube logo and these jackets do just that for me. I've got the lightweight jacket, which is simply like a windbreaker. I've got my name on the front, and the YouTube logo is on the front of that one. I've got the medium weight jacket, which is this one right here that I've been wearing a lot as we've got our beautiful fall colors. Again, YouTube logo, name on the front, the What's Neat This Week in Model Railroading logo, and look at all those beautiful shiny stitches on the back with that logo. This is a medium weight jacket. And then I've got the heavyweight winter jacket, which I really love this one. It goes good with my turtlenecks when I wear the black collar. It goes good with the What's Neat shirts. And again, it's got all the stitching on the back. So thank you very much, Denny.
And Daniel, turn over to Campbell. Check his out. That's amazing work as well.
Nice. GM&O.
And funny little anecdote about these jackets. When we got our first jackets, they didn't say in model railroading.
That's right.
So when we would go have wings at Frankie G's, they would think we were a biker club coming in because of
They
the
did.
yeah.
They thought that. Or I've had people walk up to me and say, a union leader just walked into the bar.
Right.
I've
But
gotten
now
that more than once.
but now it says
It
in
looks like a
model
union
railroading.
logo. Now, I don't know what you guys are going to do once I start wearing contact lenses because I don't know the logo. Yeah, right?
And you sent me a great edit, and we was able to edit the old logo and make the new.
I appreciate
And
it.
I just think that they're just, it's really stunning.
I loved going from black to blue. It's
Yeah.
just a complete change.
And so, also one of the things that I'd like to do, well, number one, I want to thank everybody for supporting me. And Jelsma Graphics, we started in 1985 as a hobby. I still had a real job working, and then when I retired, went full time, and darn it, became a real business.
Right.
And it's a passion that I've had, but
Our viewers are very receptive to what it is you make because of the quality. And I do recall you sending me an email one day, and it's in writing. I've got this in writing, where in 34 years of business, you said that the return that you've gotten on this show is the best out of 34 years of advertising.
yeah, and I've tried every type of advertising, and when I had a real job in the corporate world, I was very familiar with advertising, and this show, the viewers have really responded, and I really appreciate it. And I want to really kind of take time, if I can, to just talk about 3 or 4 of my real good customers, because they're, our hobby is so diverse. And one of my customers that I've had for quite a few years is a judge in Oklahoma. And I get a call from this guy, and he says, I'm Judge Larry Brooks from Guthrie, Oklahoma. And he says, I'm interested in some Santa Fe stuff. And he says, but I want to know if you could kind of do some custom. And I says, yeah. And he says, hey, by the way, he says, are you, we have a football stadium down here called the Jelsma, or he said Jelsma, a football stadium. You're in relation? I said, yeah, it's my grandfather's brothers, and yeah, they ran away from Pella when they were teenage boys and moved to Guthrie and got into the oil and land business, and he gave the city this huge football stadium, and today it's
Nice.
the 13th best football stadium in the United States, and named after my family. And so
Nice.
we kind of become pretty good friends. And I says, but there's one problem. It's not Jelsma, it's Jelsma. And I says, you've Americanized it, and the J is pronounced like a Y. And so I says, your whole goal in the rest of your retirement is to educate the people in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Jelsma. But he, Larry has been very special to me, and he's just been a good friend down through the years. And I think we just sent him his 13th jacket.
How about
Wow.
Now, I got 1,350 logos, and Larry comes up with these different designs, and we just did a Santa Fe, and you can see here where this new logo is from a ticket, from a Santa Fe ticket. We call it a Santa Fe ticket. And Larry, we get on the phone, we go back and forth, and he sends me this artwork, and And we probably have 15 hours of working on these logos.
Wow.
And then he sends me one for the Milwaukee. And he wanted the bipolars. He wanted 2 types of bipolars we put on, and then we put a bunch of sayings underneath. And he organized, the colors. And then he sent a Great Northern, and it was gateway to the Glacier, Glacier Park. And that was an extremely difficult logo. And some of these have 300,000 stitches.
Wow.
And his wife helps him with this. Anyhow, it's just, here we took this customer that wanted a particular type of design, and we spent the time, and you just look at the end results. They're just absolutely gorgeous.
Very cool.
And then, I go to train shows. We've done train shows for the last 36 years. And we would do as many as 50 shows a year. I don't do that as many, but we would, people would come up, and I did a show in Massachusetts, and this gal from the Long Island Garden Railroad comes up. And anyhow, long story short, here we are years later, and she's constantly sending me orders for this club. And when they go out, they all have their green jackets, and they're just gorgeous. And between Georgiana and myself, we developed these beautiful logos. And she'd come to the show, and we'd give each other a hug. And her husband are just absolutely fantastic and supporting. And these are the type of things that have kept us going down through the years. And then the first coast, or it's called the First State Railroad in Dover, Delaware. They've got the famous yellow coats that we have it on the brochure.
Yeah.
And they rent a bus to go to train shows, and here they're like 50, 60 guys, and they get off the bus, and they all have these yellow jackets, and I made them all.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And it's just such a thrill to see that, and they all come by and they give you a hug and say thank you, and hey, look at my jacket, and there's another one. It's called Burlington County in New Jersey, and they've got about 50, 60 members, and when they come to a show, man, the jackets, and it's just really fantastic. And so we'll work with you on anything that you want to do.
Absolutely.
And I think you could just see.
The feedback from the customers has been fantastic. You've read it in readers' comments, and you've made an awful lot of people here in St. Louis happy at that RPM meet that we had at the end of July with all of those wonderful baseball caps.
Yeah.
I know Jack Olstery, and just go through the names of so many people that are so thrilled to have those hats.
They proudly wear those.
Well, they do.
And if you remember the last time I was on the show, I think it was the last time, we had Pastor Chuck from my hometown of
the
Carlisle.
scrumptious little
all the bakery
cookies.
goods.
Well, he's I call him a transplanted Dutchman. He's actually a German that's living in my Dutch community. But Pastor Chuck has a railroad club for challenge kids. But he's made a logo, and I saw it, and I made him the shirts, and he was originally from Long Island, and guess what he made the logo? Dashing Preacher.
Right. That was a fun show. Let me run a clip of that show right now because I do have that in the computer, whereas I think we had Lionel Strang over here on the screen.
That's right.
He was eating donuts while we were eating pastry.
That's right.
You were sitting here. Michelle was right next to me. It was a great show and a good time. We love it when you come, and thank you very much, Pastor Chuck, for those awesome pastries.
Absolutely.
They were
Thank you
delicious.
very much. And thank you for being at the railroad show in Kansas City.
That's where we met you
originally. You were my very first interview ever.
The very first.
And he did great, didn't he?
You did great
Kansas
too.
City 2018 was an absolutely fantastic NMRA National.
That's
That was
right.
a
I
great
saw
show.
you at Train Fest too in Milwaukee.
That's
We were
right.
Up there.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Remember, we went to
Yeah.
Milwaukee and we did a
2019.
we did a show up there, both
2019,
Saturday
yeah.
and Sunday. We did 2 shows up there, interviewing 14 different manufacturers. We brought them up on the stage. Boy, that was a lot of work, but it sure came out
fun,
good.
man.
Just think. This year, the national convention's going to be here.
Yeah, St.
Right.
Louis,
Right
Gateway
here.
Convention in Collinsville
Right.
this year, and that's exciting.
I remember the first time I met James, he was on the stage with me.
Yes.
And then this guy that I've just become to really love, and that's Campbell Rice.
I know, Campbell Rice, James, come
came
on
over
up here and show
Come
your
on.
faces. We do have you guys in town.
Come on out
And
of the
James,
crowd.
you were at the train show last week where we had the gentleman, JP 3D, that made the beautiful
That's
Grand
right.
Elevator. Here's Campbell.
Yeah.
James Regier, thanks for being here. These are some of the examples of some of the best people in the hobby that we've got. The very first time I met James, he came here actually 3 times, and I'm always so busy producing the show that I ignore who's here. I don't see them. But when he showed up with an airplane where the propeller started to spin on
Yeah.
that TWA airplane
Hey, wait a
with
minute.
the Arduino that you used to make that work.
TWA will be the next one. That was a Santa Fe Skyway.
Well, pardon me, but that was an awesome work, and it got you absolutely discovered.
It was.
Now, tonight we've got G&L Robotics, and I know if you speak up loud enough, James, GNLRoboticsUSA.com, Greg Sutherland had sent you these 2 machines that we this week are about to, after I finish December's video and get the podcast out, we're going to do a how-to video on how the resin printer works and the wash plant. What is the name of that resin printer, James?
That is the Photon Mono X.
Okay.
And it has one of the largest print beds on the market for a resin printer, or at least on the consumer level market. So that will allow me, if I would want to print my Beep again, I could print the whole frame flat on that printer, whereas I had to put it on weird angles for my Photon S.
Right.
So that's large enough for that. And I'm also working on another project right now. In fact, I'm sitting in the background adding rivets to it right now. I'm working on that Drover caboose. And that's going to be about a 50-foot model when it's complete, or a 50 scale foot, obviously. But that would not print on my Photon S at all. I'm hoping it'll go on this Mono X. So I'm already coming up with projects to try and test its limits. And
You're
figure out
awesome,
what it can
James.
do.
I'm really glad you came up the driveway, unlike somebody that I know that chickened out.
Yeah, like for 2
What was
years.
it? 6
I'm
years
here
ago?
now. Okay.
6 years ago.
I'm fashionably
That was
late.
an amazing story that Joshua actually came here, found out where we recorded the show at, came down to the bottom of the driveway, and
Turned around and ran.
I didn't know if you had dogs or big sticks, I didn't know what to expect.
thank you. I'm glad you're here now. Now, our friend John Fowler out in beautiful California, you know, he lives out on the Tehachapi main line out there, Santa Fe. He has created a 3D video for us from start to finish. It's about 26 minutes long on everything about 3D printing as well. I think that's going to run in the January and or February, what's neat. Denny Jelsma also created a video on his railroad club down in Florida, which I've got all the material for, a lot of video clips to go through. That's also going to be running in either January or February. I still don't know the schedules of that because I still don't have December done yet. And I need you guys to do an opening for me on December tonight, by the way, too.
Okay.
That would be very cool. Now, Mike, you are always entertaining us with your magnificent art every week. Tell us what you brought tonight.
Well, in the spirit of helping others and stuff, we made these Modeler's Life decals for the T-shirt of the mini Lionel strings.
Oh, is it done?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's finished.
And
Wow, okay. I'll shoot
looks
that out.
just
Can I shoot
like
that
him.
outside? I'll shoot that
Yeah.
outside and get some real close-ups with the 60 millimeter.
And William Brillinger, Precision Design, he donated his time and materials for, to help my idea go along. And so really, that was his contribution. Now, my only contribution is stamps and envelopes. So I sent about 25 of them out today, but I
You
still have
have?
a whole bunch.
Sweet.
So
to answer.
people gave
Oh,
you the
yeah.
addresses and everything.
You wouldn't
That's
believe how
amazing.
many Modeler's Life fans are fans of our podcast.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you guys for
Thanks
watching.
for
and
watching,
supporting
guys.
us.
Right.
And by the way, he just gave another check. And
Yes,
they've
$25,000.
raised $98,000
Yes.
in the last 5 years he
Right.
has. So thank
Right,
you
way
very
to go,
much.
Lionel.
Lionel,
Yeah.
we love you, buddy,
Yeah.
and we love what you do for all the other people out there.
So, since you had my Illinois Central Golf cabooses all week, I couldn't work on them. I took this old kit, and I wanted an old gas station just like this because there's a whole bunch of them around St. Louis still, but the only one I could find had this edition on it. And so when I did the brickwork, I tried to emphasize that by getting the bricks different colors and having the mortar show and stuff. And then I found this company called Evan Designs they're out in Colorado. They have little battery packs with switches on them with LEDs, and that's how I put the light in this caboose. That I'll take that home and finish it and put the ladders and everything on. I'll be able to fit all this inside the caboose and then have the switch on the bottom. But I got 6 of these, and it was just over $35, which I thought was
Well, that's
really,
not bad at all.
I mean, I don't know how to make all that stuff, so I was really happy to find a company that could do it for me.
Very cool.
Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much what I got going on. So
That is very, very cool. All right, guys. Denny, you've got a Great Northern car on the table. Tell us about that brass, beautiful car.
Well, this car is a very rare passenger car. And for those who have seen me on the show before, I've always tried to bring a brass car because I just love brass passenger cars, and that's my thing. And I'm looking, well, what should I bring? And there was a lot of unique cars, but this here is called the Pendulum, and it was a test car that they made actually 3 of these, one for the Santa Fe, one for the Burlington, and one for the Great Northern. And they had swivel trucks, and they could lean going around curves, but they would add, when the loads were heavy, they would throw these cars in on their name trains. And I was showing Jim earlier that the Santa Fe was painted in the Blue Goose colors.
Oh.
But this car in brass is extremely rare. And it's so odd.
It's so unusual, those
Yes,
windows.
yeah.
And I thought, hey, this would be a
That's
good. But it
awesome.
was
That
called
is very
the
cool.
Pendulum, and Coach Yard brought it in. And if I said 30 years ago, Fred would say, "Criminy sakes, now it was 40 years ago."
We all love Fred Hill. God, what an
Good
amazing
old Fred
he
Hill.
is.
And this was one of the earlier runs that he did, and it's still fantastic. And then the stuff that he's bringing out today is
Oh
just,
gosh, it's just top notch.
Yeah.
yeah.
I had a Challenger Imports Santa Fe Blue Goose. Look at James looking at me now on that. And it was one of the most beautiful locomotives. I shot this model out in real sunlight. The blue color, that baby blue color, along with all the chrome that they had done on this brass model. It was one of my favorite pieces back during the Midwest Valley Modelers Day, when I in fact had a very large collection of brass, which I no longer have. But gosh, you just brought it up, and it was a beautiful piece, and that's what reminded me of that, which gave me an excuse to show a really cool photograph, and I love doing that on this show.
Well, what's so neat about, what I think is so neat about the brass passenger cars is I'm living in a fantasy.
aren't we all?
I'm running my 1950 or 1945 or 1955, and the era of the great passenger trains, and I get to recreate and go back into
Right.
history. And how many times have we? Gosh, I wish we could go back in time. Well, that's
We
how
can,
we
Yeah,
exactly. Right.
exactly.
And for some of you people that don't understand the fascination us model railroaders have, we actually have a time machine that we get to go back
Right.
and recreate what happened 50, 60 years ago.
And now
There you
with
go.
the internet, you can get all old advertisements and signs and
Yeah.
everything from whatever era you're modeling and just make it perfect. I mean, it's like recreating the past. I mean, I know that's why I do it.
And my wife could verify that I live in a fantasy world.
Oh yeah, mine too.
Don't we all?
All right, Joshua, did you talk about your Thunderstorm?
No, but I want to.
I want you to tell us about the great big cloud and what you brought here
Okay,
tonight.
well
Where
let
is that?
me show you first.
Okay.
So I bought the Thunder and Lightning from Broadway Limited, okay? And it's a speaker system that when you push the button, within a minute a storm starts, and it was the sound of rain.
Yeah.
And shutters hitting on the houses and dogs barking in the background and a bunch of wind. And it comes with 2 light strips that you can put up somewhere. So I thought it'd be cool to put some clouds over it. and make it look like lightning in
Right.
the clouds.
Have some
Well,
LEDs.
these 2 strips, let me tell you, were super boring.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You had to
Well,
spice it up.
I had to spice it up. So I did a little research and I found that if I went to your local automotive store and bought some fog lamps for a
Yeah.
truck,
Oh.
it can be a lot different. So I bought a couple different sets of these and put them in clouds on the wall and up above going down. And then I thought that wasn't enough, so I found some other little lighting. And so I put that on 2 cups that I got from any local, deli,
deli,
place and put the foil down to
That's
help
cool.
reflect it. And then I covered it the same thing with some polyfill and, darker storm clouds are darker on the bottom. So I sprayed it on one side only
Yeah.
to have the lighter on the top. And then you just put a little light to
Yeah,
it.
look at that.
and
Check it out.
you
man,
know,
that
so
is
you can
cool.
you can put more polyfill on it to make them a little more dense and more lights in there. But with that,
I
that's
like that.
pretty cool little technique, and throws a little more realism into the layout.
That's absolutely true.
There's one N scale layout that has a tornado on it.
I saw that. They're
Yeah.
one of the I think that's the Mississippi Valley N
Yeah.
scalers.
Okay.
Yeah, our Gateway N track. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
LED and the thunder and lightning.
That's exactly what that is. I just wanted more light. So
Oh man,
That's
that's
awesome.
so cool.
This is the best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it. I do want to thank a lot of folks that helped me emotionally, and I'm going to bring this up one more time and never talk about it again.
Yeah.
I want to say to Ed Dressel, Dr. Robert Steers, Dan Michio, George Bogatuk, Rand Hood out there, and Denny Jelsma, and all of my podcast friends and crew. I found out who my friends were through this, and I love all of you guys for the support. And again, this is a very good thing. This is not bad. We are all going to be happy moving forward. So with that, guys, we're going to take our NCE power system, and we are going to have some fun tonight.
Oh,
Running
yeah.
some trains.
Oh, run some trains.
All right. Okay, rock and roll. That was good.
that was great.
29 minutes, 40 seconds.
Yay!
And then we'll never bring that up again.
Ever.
Oh my God, you know what I forgot to talk about?
What?
Next week. This. Next week.
Oh, okay.
That soldering gun's amazing. Battery powered
Really?
soldering gun.
Oh man.
$79. Battery powered soldering gun. We'll talk about it next week. All right, guys, let's get ready to do that famous thumbnail.
You guys should stand up, hold up something. And
I feel like the happiest guy on the planet this week. All right, everybody smile. Smile for all of our friends out there, guys. Ready? And that's it. Let's keep main camera running. I will kill sound. We got through 176.
Great.
have some cake.
Yeah.